How are we doing there, boys and girls? Matthew's here and welcome back to another video. Today I've got just a quick one for you. This is not really the normal format of video that I try to put out. I try to make sure that I've actually got some solid facts and figures for you in most of my videos. But today I found something. I found something from on the beta that I thought that is not complete. And I feel that I can pass it over to you guys, and there's probably some of you that can utilize it way more than others. What am I talking about? Well, by the title and the thumbnail of the video, you probably already know, but we're talking about the Queen's Conservatory. The Queen's Conservatory on the beta, at least, was touted as one of the best features for gold makers to passively make some gold as the Shadowlands goes on. Now, unfortunately, it didn't really turn out to be the Shadowlands version of the garrisons like we thought it may potentially be, simply because, well, at least at this point in time anyway, anima power is just way too scarce. The amount of grinding that you need to do to keep up with your sort of Covenant mini game each week is kind of just out of the realms of what most people want to do on their alts. And let's be honest, most people, you've got a choice of one of 4 Covenants nowadays. There's only a 25% chance that your character's even going to be Night Fae in the first place. So I'm very aware that there's probably only 25% of my audience that can even think about using some of this. But the Queen's Conservatory has got some interesting mechanics to it, and I put a whole bunch of testing into it on the beta. On the beta we had the luxurious ability. I actually did a video on this. If you wish to check it out, I'll leave a link to this video down below, where we did a quick look into the Queen's Conservatory. Now on the beta we had the advantage of that there was this Gardener dude. Basically it was a vendor that gave us all of the spirits and all of the catalysts that we needed to get up and running so that we can just use and abuse it like as fast as we possibly wanted for the purpose of testing. And so that's exactly what I did. I tested the absolute living crap out of this place for 2 reasons. One, that, you know, testing is always helpful for somebody at least, but secondly because it was my primary source of getting materials whilst the game was still in beta, so that I could get my profession guides out for you. But what I did whilst using and abusing this place is I tracked the results of every single loot bag that I opened, and I put it all into a spreadsheet. Yep, we're talking spreadsheets again. What I did is I tracked all of this information, and I was trying to work out, well, how do you get each of the different satchels, and which of those satchels are more sort of valuable or worthwhile you trying to even create in the first place. Now we know there's a lot of time gating with the Queen's Conservatory, and once I actually get my druid into gear and actually get the place leveled up a little bit more and spend a bit more time playing on the druid, who is my Night Fae character, then I'll be able to put something together a little bit more constructive to this. But I thought I should give you guys the data to maybe play with it and test it and see if it's any good. What I was doing then, let's give you a quick overview of this. If you want to use this spreadsheet, by the way, link is in the description. Please, 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 before you send me DMs or write comments down below, if you want to edit anything in the spreadsheet, you need to go to File and make a copy. That will save a copy locally for you. The link will only be to a view-only version of it. But in essence, what it does is you go and you put your prices, your server's prices for all of the materials. Now I know this is a big old long list and is not super convenient to do, but like I said, this was something I was just doing for my own purpose on the beta, and I was guesstimating the prices and values of things back then. You can now put live data into this. Check it before you plant your seeds and plant your spirits and put your catalysts down, and it will give you an indication to which bag is going to be the most valuable to you based on the possible outcomes. But you can see there's a whole bunch of different satchels you can get, and I put just a little bit of information about the quantity of catalysts you need, or the combination of catalysts. So you can't technically get the Spirit Tender's satchel until you've got your Queen's Conservatory pretty well ranked up. I think it needs to be at least rank 3 or possibly even 4 before you can even start creating these, because you need the plot at the back of the Queen's Conservatory that has the 4 catalysts connecting to it. But as you can see, I opened a whole bunch of bags and I tracked the data. So down below you can see there's the tabs for each of the different types of bags. So if you want a novice stuffed satchel, for example, you need to plant a spirit, and there needs to be 2 night bloom catalysts connected to it. That will then give you a novice stuffed satchel. What do you get in that novice stuffed satchel? Well, I tracked the data. I opened 40 of them, and these were the things that I got from it. You will actually also notice there's something called gaunt sinew in this. This was a material that was on the beta for a while, but got removed before the game came out. So once again, I really want to emphasize that this was data that I got from the beta. This was not from the live version of the game that we've had for the past few months. So, second disclaimer, everything might not be 100% accurate, but at least it gives you an indication of which ones you should be sort of shooting for if you want to try and at least somewhat min-max your Queen's Conservatory. For me, it was quite interesting to find, though, that it was the Journeyman. If you're looking to use this to gather materials, the Journeyman system, so using 1 root grain catalyst and then either 1, 2 or 3 night bloom catalysts, always yielded the best results in terms of materials, because they tended to favour the rarer materials, which have held their value more substantially. If we go to a Journeyman Overflowing Satchel, for example, down here, Journeyman Overflowing Satchel. Now let's not forget, in theory you can probably only get like 1 of these a week, so it's not something you can churn through, but it's also why I've not seen anybody sort of be able to put forward some solid data on this, because without some element of community support, there is no way you could get these sorts of numbers. You'd have to have done this once a week, every week for 20 weeks, just to get the data that I've got. Now I know that's kind of not possible for a lot of people, but so the Journeyman Overflowing Satchel, for example, you can see it tends to give you, firstly, just a lot of materials. You're going to get out of 20 bags, you can see I put a column here, average per bag, so you can see you're getting basically a little bit of everything out of these bags. They were really quite profitable, and even at today's prices, the value of a single one of these is about 1,600 gold. Now that's not huge. You can only do this potentially, you can only potentially get 1 of these bags a week, yet it still gives you potentially the materials to a gold value somewhere of what you would get from just doing a calling anyway. So instead, it's the equivalent of being able to do 7 callings a week, 1 per day. It's enough gold to give you a little bit more. It all adds up over time, especially if you're doing this on a few characters. But I'm not going to ramble on too much about this. I will leave the link to the spreadsheet down below if you want to take a little look into it. If you want to plug in your server's prices, feel free. And I'd be interested to hear if any of you firstly are Night Fae, and secondly if you've had the desire to grind out enough anima to get it leveled up effectively, and how your experience has been with it. Over the next coming weeks I will probably put a little bit more effort into my druid to get enough anima together to really get a good playtest with this, but my main character's been a Necrolord, and so hence my focus on the Queen's Conservatory up until now has been, well, non-existent. But have a little play with this. Let me know how you get on with it. Let me see if let me know if my data is still somewhat accurate. If it's completely null and void, and if the drop rates of everything has completely changed, if you can sort of support it with some of your own data, that'd be interesting to hear. Please let me know. But yeah, have fun with that one. I found it, I digged it out of the archives. I'm hoping it can be useful to at least someone. So, if you enjoyed this video, boys and girls, please remember to hit the like button before you leave. If you're new around here, consider subscribing. We create content focused on the sort of the economy and goal making side of World of Warcraft mostly, but it's pretty much World of Warcraft fun all around. So, yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.